Nope, I'm not ready. You do it. I can't do it.
Welcome back to Actual Proper Podcast. I'm Reece Farkash, and with me, Twila Amato, my wonderful co-host.
Hi, thanks.
So, there is some crazy stuff that keeps on happening around this time of the year. Some find it wholly too early. Some find it just the perfect time.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell us a little bit of what that is, what the topic today is?
Seasonal decorations.
Specifically, like Halloween at this time of the year. Insane.
Exactly.
Absolutely insane. It's September, 23rd right
22nd.
now? 22nd right now. Halloween, not for over a month away.
So do you think it's a little too early or just on time?
I think it's crazy early. I
Really?
think for Halloween decorations and stuff should go out the week before Halloween.
I
at
think
most. Because it takes away from the holiday, in my opinion.
I think personally that it is actually perfectly on time. What's entirely too early is some stores have actually started selling Christmas things already.
Yes,
and that
that's
I think
insane.
is way too early. It's only September. December's a little too far away from now. But Halloween stuff I think is just fine right now. But also, I don't know, it kind of gets you in the mood for that like festivity. Do you know what I mean? So I think it's fun because I did used to work at a bakery in university as a part-time job, and it was really fun. It was always like this something that I looked forward to was the seasonal stuff. Like, you know how Father's Days or like Mother's Days cakes and things like that, pastries, they come in literally a month before like the actual day. Before like the actual holiday. And it's the same with like Halloween because it just gets you in the mood and it just like I guess puts it at the forefront of your mind, and it's kind of just like, oh right, I need to get treats or like candy and like things like that for trick-or-treaters and stuff like that. So I think it's just like it's the perfect amount of time. I don't know. What do you think?
See, like, if I'm going through the store and it's like this thing that you said with candy, like, oh yeah, like as a reminder, when I see that, I'm like, oh yeah, I gotta buy candy. Not gonna do that until a week before Halloween because it'll like just breeze by my mind.
So I guess it depends on the kind of person you are. If you're a procrastinator like Reece,
or as I like to describe it, my brain is just so attuned to like subliminal advertising that it's just like it doesn't even like make a blip in my brain when I see that.
yeah, I
Like-
guess I don't know. Like I guess I'm such a sucker for. I mean, yes, I'm a sucker for like marketing, and I just get sucked into it. But I love. Just like I love. I mean, Halloween's not a holiday, right? It's just a thing that happens.
It's a holiday.
But like,
it's
okay, whatever. Anyway. but things like that, it's just so much fun, and I guess it just really, I don't know. It there's a kind of like a spirit of fun around it that I really, really like. And it always makes me so like, oh, right, that's a thing that's happening. Cool.
Mhm.
And like it kind of lifts your spirits, I guess, except for when you see like, skeleton like decorations and like witch stuff. That stuff scares me, even though I know it's like fake and plastic.
Like the real, like
I don't like that.
like the realistic stuff.
I don't like that. But when I see pumpkins and like leaves, and maybe I'm just like really meaning like fall decoration, but you know what? Whatever.
To be fair, pumpkins aren't really a fall decoration. Those are more Halloween-y. But yeah, no,
True.
I get what you mean. But also, what's with Halloween not being an actual holiday, man? Because like work is just crazy where it's like you have to work on a typical common job
Mhm.
until like 6:30
Yeah.
usually.
Yeah.
And then like that's like when you have to take especially if you have small kids, you have to take them out as early as possible. So it's just like a crazy rush. Why don't we just have that day off?
I don't know. That's a good question.
And it doesn't make sense to me. Why? Because it's like it's not like a holiday like BC Family Day or like
Mhm.
Family Day across. They call it
Mhm.
different things like
Yeah.
Heritage Day and stuff like that. But like you can do things throughout the day to celebrate the holiday. But Halloween's kind of like that one moment because it means the most to kids. Like,
Mhm.
of course, as an adult, you can go to like Halloween parties and stuff, but it means way more to those kids, and it's just kind of like a super rush. And like the way Halloween is planned in this country makes no sense to me. But also, what I was gonna say is families spend way more time together on Halloween than they do on Family Day usually. Don't at me. It should be the holiday, not family day. Of course. I mean, if we could have both, that's the ideal situation. But like, I don't know. Maybe it just grinds my gears that I see a lot of families just not do anything for family day. Just like, come on.
Reece,
that's a weak
I have a
family
question
day.
for you.
Yes.
Do you have children?
No. But
it was just a very opinionated rant for someone who doesn't have children.
No, I don't. But I hope I still feel the same when I have kids and I'm that passionate about like,
spending time with them, which is kind of nice for sure. And I think, well, growing up in the neighborhoods that I did, I know that family, friends, and just like our neighbors and stuff like that, they would actually they didn't take the whole day off, but they would actually take off from work a little earlier on Halloween night to take us and my friends and stuff like that trick-or-treating. Some of them, I mean, it depends, right? Some of them were stay-at-home moms, so obviously it's a little more flexible in terms of getting the kids out and then going trick-or-treating and stuff like that. There were other times when it was really my uncle and my aunt who took us, right? Like me and my cousins and stuff like that. So it really depends on who is flexible and who the kids, I guess, guardians or like carers are, right?
Yeah, which like, I mean, in this day and age with young families and stuff, you're not going to see a young family with only one parent having a job. Like,
that's true, both of them.
It's just I've never even heard of that in my generation. Never, not even a little bit.
Are we just too poor? Is that what it is?
Yeah, too poor and broken. It's just a whole thing.
Anyway, speaking of things that are a little too early, what about Christmas shopping? Starting now, do you think that's a little too early, or is that
absolutely insane?
Okay, why do you think so?
One, because it should be done mid-November, early December, actually. I've changed from mid-November here to early December.
It's just getting later
December,
and later.
like 1st or 2nd, should be a good place to start thinking about it, to start acting upon it. December now.
Very specific.
My also big part is, how are you going to keep that secret hiding presents for like 4 months?
It's very
Especially
easy.
if you live in the same house as someone. Absolutely not.
It's so easy.
How?
Trust me. It's so easy. There are nooks and crannies in the house that like not a lot of people always go to.
Yeah, but that's the risk. Not always doesn't mean never.
No, it's been very successful, especially in my family. Like, it's been so successful. I remember this one time when my parents bought for Christmas. Okay, was supposed to be a Christmas, and it was a Christmas present. They bought my brothers a PlayStation 2 when it first came out, and they got it in September, October, something like that, and they kept it hidden very, very well, and it was also in plain sight. And
where was it hidden?
It was literally just on a shelf.
Okay, yeah, that would never fly in like that would never fly.
But do you know what I mean? Like, you can hide things. It's just what my parents had done is literally like put it like one of those thick binders, literally just like pushed it inside. Because it, like the PlayStation box, like the PlayStation 2 anyway, like it's small enough to fit in one of those like jumbo like binders. So they just put it in and then like slid it into a shelf, and then boom, no one ever noticed.
See, I don't know about your family, but like growing up, the second like something as boring as a binder was put somewhere, it was gone through. Like, you know, like
yeah. See, okay, so you guys are nosy.
Yeah, not even nosy, but like, what? Why is there a binder there? You know?
No.
Why,
obviously, it has. Okay, so obviously it has to make sense, right? You can't just like all of a sudden put something new and expect for it to like go unnoticed. Of course, that's not how it goes. Like, that particular shelf was, so at that time my mom was actually going back to college, so she had a lot of books and a lot of like those mega like jumbo binders around, and so that's where they put it, right? Is because it's this like shelf that none of us would go through, because it's college stuff, it's accounting stuff, like none of us were interested in it. And so that was the logic, and I mean, it was successful. Like, my brothers were like, oh my god, we have a PS2. So it was yeah.
I don't know, because like there's something about like the weeks before Christmas where your child will just be like, you know, looking, there's no way it's going to be hidden, no matter where it is in a house.
If it's a small child too, like if you have a small kid, I feel like it's easy to hide them in like higher places, obviously, or like even the attic,
okay,
or
yes,
like whatever,
a small child,
like storage.
yes.
Yeah, but like
also,
I don't know.
What about your spouse?
Well, there are probably places where you stash things that like your spouse will never know about. Like you have a secret stash of like chocolates that they don't know about. And so just stash it in there.
I don't know.
Oh my goodness. Like
Is
there's
that a
so
thing?
yes, there are so many ways that you can keep like presents hidden. Yes, it is absolutely just like it's possible if you had the will to try it, but also my reasoning with me, I guess, like not thinking that it's way too early. And in fact, if you can go Christmas shopping for certain people like throughout the year, even better, because sales crop up, right? And of course, you don't, you want to show appreciation for a person, but you don't want to spend like $1 million on a thing, right? But if you see something that, is the perfect present for them and it's on sale, why not? And what if this was in January? Then why not, right? Like I don't know, like I just think you have to be wise about like Christmas shopping, because I think this is the thing that like a lot of people run into as well, especially when the holidays kind of start up, is they blow all that money for, I guess, in such little time and very unreasonably, because I mean, there's not a lot of sales that go on in Christmas. In fact, prices generally not necessarily go up, but like they stay the same, like the same
working
retail
price. Christmas and Boxing Day sales, like Black Friday, sorry. Those don't actually exist, people.
No,
I'm sorry,
they're
but
actually
it's
the
just
same
the
prices.
same price.
Yeah.
Yeah. We just changed the carts.
Exactly. And so that's the thing, right? Is you kind of get fooled into thinking that, oh, since it's shopping season, then obviously prices go down. They don't, really. And so you're creating more expenses for yourself, really, and more strain on your finances that way. And I think that's why a lot of people are so stressed about, I guess, gift giving when it doesn't have to be. If you just, I guess, strategize or like are a little, I guess, smarter about it, or even just like a little more aware about it, because I mean, your friends, your family, right? Like, you know what they like and don't like, or perhaps what they need. And I feel like that's also one of the things is like, I'm the kind of gifter who gives what they need, but I try to be thoughtful about it. So like, I don't know, if someone needs like, I don't know, like a new backpack, I guess that's what I'll give them for Christmas, because they'll surely appreciate it, one, and they'll surely use it, which is what you want, right? And so I guess tips for like Christmas shopping and stuff like that. So definitely I agree, like I don't agree with it being too early. I totally recommend just going shopping. And in fact, the reason I bring this up today is because I was just online shopping for presents for my mom and for my brothers. I don't know what I'm gonna get my dad yet. He has everything he wants. I mean, I can't just get him a wrench. So
no, we've been over that. You can't just buy one wrench for someone.
Right. I realize that apparently you can't buy wrenches, just one single wrench.
Yeah, it's kind of pointless to buy just one wrench.
Yeah, no, but also my dad has like cases upon cases of like things like this, and he also like has a whole lot of drill bits. So I thought you can buy like individual drill bits. I don't think you can.
No, you can't.
But also I've asked him about it, and he's like, Twila, I have like a ton of them. I really don't need anything else.
He might have a ton, but does he have the specialized drill bits? So you got like drill bits, especially like that work well for wood and so forth, but you also have the upgraded drill bits that you only bust out on occasion when you need them, because you don't want to use them all the time. I'm going to cut this
conversation right now because this is like going into territory that I have no idea about, because they all look the same to me and also seem like they function the exact same.
No.
So let's just go past it.
Okay, so what about the best of both worlds? Like shopping is, I'm speaking in terms of buying online, because I mean that kind of like where we live, that's kind of just what you have to do.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a tiny town. Anyway, so like if you were ordering stuff online, what about buying it now and then having it sent to arrive like a week before Christmas?
That is highly suspicious.
But what if you got it sent to your workplace?
Still highly suspicious.
I don't know.
Especially if you both work at the same place.
Okay, but most people don't. So.
Well, I have a lot of friends who do, though. That's what I'm saying, So like there's not a loophole around it. If you got something sent to you at work like maybe months before, like weeks and weeks before, then I don't think that's as suspicious. But like if it's like a week before Christmas, yeah, that is highly suspicious. And I like, especially like, maybe I'm just a very suspicious person and I just suspect everything and everyone. And I will definitely be like, what is that? Is that for me? Where's that from?
Okay.
How much was it?
Okay. Alternatively, two things. These are two different scenarios.
Okay.
So you get it sent in the mail, but what I do is like my packages and stuff arrive at the post office depots themselves. So you get the email saying it's there, but then you don't go to pick it up until your partner's like, well, when you're alone, when your partner is not with you and stuff, or like not home, like that kind of stuff. Number two, what if you get presents and then like bury them in the garden? That sounds like a great plan, because guaranteed unfindable then.
Right. But that hinges on if they have gardens.
Or a yard, I guess.
Or
That's
a
fair.
yard. Like, I
Bury
mean,
them in a friend's garden. Who
well,
cares?
I mean, like, you don't want to be just
or on
like
a beach.
what?
Just kidding.
A dog can find it there.
Well, also the ground is always shifting.
Yeah,
at
exactly.
beaches.
But I mean, you don't want to just go digging around your apartment complex and being like, I'm just burying a treasure. No, dude.
Well, that could be even more fun. You give them a map Christmas Day, and then just like that would be. I mean, that sounds really awesome.
Okay, well,
but it'd be really
I don't like
disappointing
this
if it was like a
idea.
bad gift. It would have to be something that's insane, like that they would absolutely love.
Oh yeah, like I don't know, a Tiffany necklace or something.
No, not something like that.
Okay, now we're gonna go to recommendations. Do you have any recommendations for us?
I do. The current novel I'm reading, I might have talked about it before. I honestly can't remember with all these recommendations.
But also, you read like he reads like 5 books at a time, which I don't understand.
I think I'm on like 6 or 7 books right now.
Weird flex, but okay.
Well, it's kind of like I don't know. It's like episodes like of TV. Like you can't just binge watch an entire like show at
Yes,
once.
you can.
You
I
gotta watch like
literally
one
do
episode
that.
at a time, and like you
No.
watch different TV shows.
No,
And like,
I literally do that every single
isn't that
time.
exhausting?
No,
though, just to watch a whole season. I find that
No.
like exhausting.
no, it's not exhausting. I mean, I've binge watched a lot of seasons and a lot of shows actually, like of K-dramas, like literally just one show in one shot. And I
Yikes.
mean, was it healthy? Probably not. Was it worth it? Yes.
Okay, so books. One of them I've started reading is the classic. Well, I started a while ago. Actually, not super long ago. Okay, I'm gonna retract these words. But so this book I started reading, it is of the fantasy genre, like a lot of my books typically are. It is, if you're into fantasy novels at all, you know The Wheel of Time, and it's probably the most celebrated fantasy book series ever. Like it's just like right behind like Harry Potter and like the Lord of the Rings, like stuff like
Lloyd of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings, sorry. It's right behind there.
Okay.
It was actually a lot of the first book is inspired by Lord of the Rings.
So it was written around the same time?
So yeah, it's a really old book. It was
Okay.
written not long after. So like all the fantasy writers at the time were imitating that style that Tolkien set. So that's why the first book kind of comes off that way. It's similar. It's not exactly the same, but like some things here and there are similar.
So the world building kind of situation was sort of similar.
I mean, a little bit.
Okay.
It's distinct enough where it won't bother you at all, or you might only notice it like maybe 1 or 2 places.
Okay.
But it's a fantasy book genre. The books are crazy long. I'm just gonna say that. So if you're not like a huge reader, I don't recommend starting them because there is around 800 pages, I believe, for each book
goodness
with
gracious.
tiny font and massive pages.
Oh my gosh.
And
It
there's
sounds ridiculous.
14 of them.
It sounds
So,
ridiculous.
Yeah,
so.
there's. I wish I could remember right now, but I think there's
Isn't there 14?
25,000 like 25,000 pages for all 14 books in total.
Oh my goodness.
So almost 25,000, I believe now. So like, yeah, if you're not an avid reader, 25,000 pages sounds like a lot.
It does sound like a lot, but I feel like it depends on obviously if you're interested in that genre or if you are a big reader. But I feel like you don't even really have to be a big reader. I mean, I don't really like, I read a lot and I love reading, but I can't say I'm a big reader per se, just because there are, bigger readers than I am who like read constantly, because like I take breaks, right? So I don't always necessarily read, But I mean, I don't know. I've read books upwards like 1,000, 2,000 pages,
Mhm.
but that's because they interested me, right? And so I feel like with this series, it's the same. Like, it sounds daunting in the beginning, but if
Yeah.
you are into this genre, if you are into this kind of like world building, then I feel like it's definitely up your alley.
Yeah, totally. It's also a bit of an initial investment because, like, the first book, I'm like 500 pages in now,
Oh.
and it only started picking up probably around 300.
Hmm.
So, like,
Yeah.
in some novels, that's like 3/4 of the way through the novel already at
Mhm.
300 pages. A lot of them, I think, like typically around 400.
Oh my goodness.
So, like, only getting interesting at like 300 pages in, it
Mhm.
takes a lot, but like it pays off pretty well. It's
Mhm.
just as good as people say. Like, Robert Jordan, the author, is such an acclaimed fantasy writer that, like, in a lot of ways, he is more regarded than even like writers like Tolkien. Like, it's absolutely insane. It's also like, yeah, like breaking in the genre of fantasy at the
Mhm.
time. So, like, you get to see a lot of new ideas that are different from the tropes that are used right now in so much different literature
Mhm.
that it's definitely where I gotta recommend it. It's really good. And yeah, if you have a sense of adventure, I definitely recommend looking into it. So the first book, the one I'm reading right now in the Wheel of Time book series, is The Eye of the World. Sounds pretty interesting, and
Yeah.
I can assure you it is. Now, I do also gotta say, a lot of the book takes place at nighttime. That's all I will say. So
Why? Is there something special about the nighttime in this world?
no, just a lot of it takes place at nighttime. That's one thing I've noticed. I'd say about like 80% of it is in like the middle of the night. It's just everything's always happening in the middle of the night. I don't. It's that's
feel
my
like-
take. That's my fun fact.
That's
for
funny
that
because
book.
I feel like that is where a lot of fantasy books generally set. Like the time of day generally is set towards like evening, nighttime,
I mean,
or
occasionally
midnight.
it's not super huge. Like in the
No.
fantasy book that is one of my all-time favorite books
Mhm.
that you recently read,
Yeah.
Dawn of Wonder.
I was just gonna say,
like most
a
of it.
lot of it happens at nighttime. Actually,
No.
I mean, there's a few things
I think
that
most
happen.
of it that doesn't.
No, a lot of it happened at nighttime because when I mean, I hope this isn't a spoiler, but like when
Ooh.
the character goes
Just tell me like the first, second, third, or fourth quarter.
the first quarter.
First quarter, okay.
So there's one significant event where the main character goes to the village, like the main village, and it's literally the
I mean,
night of, like
Yeah,
middle of
but
the
that's
night.
like what, 20 pages long.
Yeah, but it happens. Like a lot of the significant things and like significant, I feel, discoveries the protagonist makes about himself, like learns more about himself and things like that, like it happens at nighttime usually. A lot of the major, like, I guess conflicts do tend to happen, perhaps sometimes in the day, but like some of them happen at dusk too. So like I feel like it's definitely a thing that that usually happens. Because I mean, one of the most popular not genre stories, but like book series, for example, the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. A lot of the events that happen throughout that series also happen toward like nighttime. Actually, like when they first, like when the kids first, or rather Lucy, when she first discovers like the wardrobe, it's like I believe at nighttime from what I remember. So like a lot of these things, I don't know, there's something special about like the cover in darkness, I guess. I feel
Of course.
like it's something magical.
Yeah, that's something where it's like occasionally an important event happens at nighttime. But I'm not kidding. Like 90% of this book is at nighttime.
That's the point.
It's not very often daytime. I'll say like it's like a whole different bug. Like not even little stuff happens at nighttime. It's just a nighttime book. It's a good nighttime read. And
Awesome.
speaking of, I guess I'm a pretty big heavy reader. Like I read mornings, nights, and throughout the day usually.
Yeah, see, I would say you're a bigger reader than I am actually.
Oh, big
Because you
time.
read throughout the day.
I like to read probably about 75 pages a day.
My God.
And that's within, and I also read usually like 2 books a day. So I probably
Yeah.
average like 150 pages a day.
Yeah, you read a lot. And then on top of that, you also read comics throughout the day. And I guess I just
yeah,
don't
that's
have...
like a whole nother story.
Yeah.
So like,
I just don't have that leeway, I think, because I already work with words. So I'm like already writing and reading at the same time every day. I mean, mind you, not always interesting things, because there are some documents that you have to go through when you're like reporting on some stories, and it's pretty dense, I guess, and fairly dry. So sometimes I get put off from reading, and so when I get home, I literally just don't want to do anything. Like, I don't even want to read. Like, I feel like my brain is already so exhausted from that. So that's why I haven't been reading as much as I should be, you know? And that's why I feel like it's such a struggle to go through some of the books that I'm trying to read through right now, because I'm so put off by reading because of like the nature of my job is already reading and writing. So it's like, ugh, I'm tired. Moving on from that.
Your recommendation.
I do have a recommendation.
It's been okay. Memory of Light. All right, sorry. A Memory of Light is the book series. The Wheel of Time, Eye of the World, Robert Jordan. Just remember those words. Type into Google. You'll find out what the book is. Okay. So your recommendation.
My recommendation is not book related, and it's not any literature related story. I'm sorry, but anyone who knows me knows that I am a sucker for makeup. Anyways, this mascara has been around for a while now, I believe, but I only recently discovered it, and I'm a sucker for like, you know, high-end things, but I'm also such a huge sucker for like good drugstore like finds. And this one you can find at any drugstore. Literally, it's called the Essence Cosmetics, I think, Lash Princess mascara, and this one is the False Lash Effect, and literally does wonders for my straight Asian eyelashes. Like, gives them volume, also gives them length, and holds the curls. Also waterproof, which is such a must for like a reporter like me when like there are stories where I do get wet or like I get sweaty or like things like that, you know. So it's amazing, and I highly recommend it. Also, it was literally like $4 at the drugstore. It was insane. So like, amazing find, amazing recommendation, and I love it so much. Like, I can't live without it now.
All right. I don't really have anything to talk about. Like you kind of can add to when I talk about books, but there you go. That's the recommendation right there. And
note to self: Reece needs mascara.
I don't know. I do have really long eyelashes, but I don't know.
Also, weird flex. Let's not hurt my feelings, okay?
That was a hard flex. But what
let's
time
not
were we
hurt
at?
my feelings. All right. We are actually very we're like nearly 30 minutes in.
Holy man.
So
I don't think we've had an episode that's actually been to time like around 20 minutes ever. Maybe once.
I feel like we talk too much.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's going to be it for us today. Have a great one.
Have a great one. Bye.